So Marvel's a pretty huge universe with around 8,000 characters. This is us omitting one-offs, ancillary and multiverse versions of superheroes, by the way. In such a huge universe, and literally thousands of superheroes, we've compiled a list of the 10 strangest ones that keep having us scratching our heads. If you thought Drax the Destroyer was a peculiar character, wait till you go down this list with us. Without further delay, let's dive in. To start with, we have X-Men's Jubilee at 10. Jubilee, the superhero, first appeared in the Uncanny X-Men 244 way back in 1989. Over the years, she's taken a ton of heat from being a member of the X-Men, but can we really blame the fans? We mean, the woman literally shoots fireworks. They introduced the character in the X-Men universe to cater to the younger and more hip version of the audience. She even became the main character in the X-Men cartoon series in the early 1990s, which, by the way, worked and made her very popular. To get into the science of her powers, Jubilee manipulates matter on an atomic level to make fireworks that come out of her fingers. We get the science, but isn't shooting effing fireworks super lame? Especially when you've got characters like Storm, Wolverine, and Jean on the same team? If you thought that was the strangest and lame superpower on the list, wait till you see what we've got for you. Following up at number 9, we've got Beta Ray Bill. Off topic, but whenever you read this name, we're always reminded of Miley Cyrus's dad, and I guess that's good with branding, or having a star child, or however you want to look at it. Guys, we swear we don't judge on appearances, but Beta Ray Bill is one odd-looking dude. We mean, the man looks like the child of a horse and an alien and a human, but despite his over-the-place appearance, he's got some mad superpower chops. Did you know that Beta Ray Bill is a handful of people worthy of wielding Mjolnir, Thor's legendary hammer? Yep, so now we've got Captain America, God of Thunder, and this human-alien horse hybrid person. What's interesting is that at some point, Beta Ray Bill would also get a warhammer of his own, called Stormbreaker. He was initially supposed to be one of the villains in Thor's storyline, but over time joined his circle of most trusted allies. Beta Ray Bill is a Corbinite, and his powers are honestly kind of amazing. We're talking super speed, superhuman strength, enhanced durability, and of course, an extra long lifespan. Coming up at number 8, get ready to be dazzled by Dazzler. Despite the superstar name, this Marvel superhero kind of fell flat and never really took off. We put her name in the same unique category as Beta Ray Bill in the Marvel Universe, but not for the cool ability to wield the coolest war weapon. They primarily introduced Dazzler to promote Marvel Comics' partnership with Casablanca Records. Made for this reason specifically, her powers are also sound-related. We're talking about the ability to transform sound waves into energy and light. So her superpowers sound awesome on paper, but her character was a failure from a business point of view. Her promotional material was called off shortly after the character's introduction, though they still made her a part of the Marvel canon, and later segued into the X-Men. Next up at number 7, let's look at Swarm. Reflective of his name, Swarm is a villain made up of thousands of bees. Have you ever heard the phrase, swarm of bees? Yeah, that. He's essentially Peter Parker's enemy. And hear this, he's a former Nazi sympathizer too. We mean, we get they introduced him in 1977, but man, do we hate his guts from the get-go. So he was created when a hive mind of a mutated colony of bees absorbed his consciousness. His real name is Fritz von Meyer, and the bees constantly circle whatever's left of his human skeleton. Since he's essentially made of bees, Swarm is intangible and can take on any size and body shape on demand. Previously, he'd also been shown to communicate with other insects. Okay, so we can't be the only ones thinking this. Does he remind you of a certain Ben 10 character too? The bug guy? Up next, let the strangeness continue with Fin Fang Foom at number 7. Okay, low-key, we're kind of excited about this one. Fin Fang Foom is an alien that resembles a dragon that has green scales and amazing wings. They introduced his character a very long time ago. In 1961 to be precise, he made his debut in Strange Tales. The dragon-bodied alien often shows up as Iron Man, and his compatriot's adversary is often shown to work with the Mandarin, another Marvel villain. Though he has tried to rebel numerous times, he often cannot succeed. Now for some backstory. Fin Fang Foom arrived on Earth on the same ship that carried the Mandarin's powerful magic rings. His superpowers are telepathic communication and supersonic fights. If we're being honest, he might be one of our favorite characters from the Marvel Universe. It isn't only us that's fancying him, as he's kept his place as one of Marvel's most formidable opponents, and a stranger one at that, for over 50 years. What's more, we've got someone exceptionally weird at number 5. Yes, it's MODOK. MODOK, also known as Mechanized Organism Designed Only for Killing. As far as weird characters go, MODOK might take the cake, as he's literally a floating head. As per the comic books, MODOK uses an exoskeleton and a hover chair to hold up his mutated head. Yeah, he's just that funny and weird looking. MODOK was introduced in the 1967 Tales of Suspense and has been a regular enemy of Captain America. His head takes most of his appearance, with tiny arms and legs jutting out awkwardly. However, despite his odd appearance, MODOK's awful mutation has its benefits. He has superhuman intuition, intelligence, and strategy that borders on precognition. Not only that, but he can also mathematically predict the outcome of most situations. Not so funny now, huh? Along with his super mathematical brain, which we obviously can't relate to, he also has some psychic powers, which enable him to influence those around him with telepathy. Let's learn more about one of our personal favorite characters, Rocket Raccoon at number 4. The 2014 Guardians of the Galaxy was an eye-opener for the audience and makers of the movies, because it showed no matter how weird a character might be, people just might take a liking to them. Speaking from personal experience, this was the movie we were least looking forward to, but midway, we loved it. And most of it is because of Rocket Raccoon and Groot. Bradley Cooper voiced Rocket, and if appearance is to be judged, he looks like your average rodent. But this average rodent can talk and has an enviable arsenal, equipped to the tens. He won the hearts of not only your average audience members, but of critics and comic book nerds alike. Before making his debut on the big screen, they introduced him to Marvel Preview in 1976, and in time, joined the Guardians of the Galaxy at Star-Lord's suggestion. Rocket Raccoon is a genetic experiment gone wrong, and though he's psychologically the same as an average raccoon, he is an expert marksman and mercenary. Fun fact, they named him after the Beatles' Rocky Raccoon, and for certain, is one of the most unusual characters in Marvel, and we love him for it. Coming up at number 3, we've got Lockjaw. If you thought a floating head or a talking mercenary raccoon was strange, wait until you hear about this one. Lockjaw is essentially a talking dog. Well, he's a dog from the looks of it, but is really an inhuman who just happens to look like an overgrown English bulldog. He was introduced in the Fantastic Four comics way back in 1965 and would be housed with the Inhumans in the Marvel lore. Inhumans are a group of superhuman superheroes who got their tremendous powers after being exposed to the Terrigen Mists. Lockjaw's superpower enables him to teleport himself and others around him to great distances. Not from one end of the world to another, people. We're talking friggin' light years here. Not only that, leading from one place to another, he can also open dimensional rifts. How cool is this dog? He usually acts as the guide for the Inhumans as they navigate their cosmic region. Given his abilities, he's certainly more than a pet to the team. That said, we still wouldn't mind having him as a pet. Not to mention Howard the Duck at number 2. Okay, this is the last animal superhero on the list. We swear. Given the name Howard the Duck, you'd expect exactly how that sounds. A sophisticated name on an alien duck, of course, translates into a human-sized animal wearing a suit. Howard gets in a ton of trouble for his bad behavior, but also gets out of it with the same and a little bit of charm. Well, as much charm as you would expect a duck to possess. He first appeared in Adventure into Fear in 1973 and was also given a film adaptation in 1986. Fun fact, he appeared in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, but you need to be super patient to see him. Last but not least, the amazing Groot at number 1. So here's a fun exercise for you. Close your eyes and try to forget that you ever knew anything about the Guardians of the Galaxy. We're going to say 3 words, and we need you to imagine this outside of any context of the Marvel Universe. I am Groot. If you failed to imagine anything other than the tree figure from the Guardians of the Galaxy, we're going to need you to smash that like button as a penalty. Jokes aside, a character so abstract and unfathomably out there, what were the odds of it succeeding in the movies? Groot is an animated immortal tree that can change size and shape at will. A super absurd character turned out to be one of the most popular characters from the Marvel Universe. He's Rocket's sidekick and is truly one odd pickle. Groot, despite being super strange, has a heart of gold, is always helpful, and not to mention super duper cute after the revamp. We won't go into details because it might spoil some Marvel magic for you. But yeah, also, we love how his team picks up on what he's saying, based on tone only. That's a wrap for this video. Who was your favorite Marvel character from our list? Let us us know your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.